For the women making videos like, on my way to go cancel out my husband's vote, I would die to be a fly on the wall in your household. Like, how do conversations with your husband go? What do you guys talk about? Like, if you heard a story about another woman who dies because she's unable to access reproductive health care and you want to talk to your husband about it, how does he respond? Like, is he just like, oh, too bad, so sad, I care more about Republican policies than I do women dying, so I'm still gonna vote red? Or is he like, oh, well, she should have kept her legs closed? Like, what would he say? Have you ever tried asking him what he would do if you were the woman in the parking lot bleeding out because you were unable to access reproductive health care? Have you ever asked him how he would feel if you were in that situation, especially knowing that he voted for politicians that caused you to die a very painful but very preventable death? Like, how would he respond to that? For me personally, a complete lack of empathy is a total deal breaker for me. Like, you choose your husband. You know it doesn't have to be this way, right?
There was a time when I used to believe that playing the victim could get me sympathy and ultimately influence others to align with my perspective. Some of us use this tactic politically, claiming that if you don't vote for my candidate, it will harm my rights, safety, or happiness. This shifts the responsibility for one's well-being onto another, making their vote the deciding factor. But using victimhood as a tool creates an unhealthy power dynamic. It imposes the burden of responsibility for someone else's well-being on another person's vote. The pitfall here is that it shifts the focus away from self-empowerment and responsibility, creating a cycle where one's happiness is contingent on someone else's actions. This can lead to resentment when the other person feels unfairly burdened by these expectations. Furthermore, using victimhood as a tool can also create a power imbalance in relationships. The victim may hold power over the person they have designated as their savior or protector, using guilt and manipulation to control their actions. This can lead to a toxic and codependent dynamic where the victim may continue to play the victim in order to maintain their power over others. Overall, using victimhood as a tool can create an unhealthy and unstable dynamic in relationships, as it relies on the exploitation of others for personal gain. Have you ever felt like your sense of security or happiness was someone else's responsibility? The truth is, while voting is important, it shouldn't be used as a way to control another person's autonomy. We must ensure that our political motivations and personal relationships are grounded in truth and mutual respect, not manipulation.
There's a difference between being a victim and playing the victim. Playing the victim involves exaggeration and manipulation. Truly being one means that you were legitimately victimized. Being in an abusive relationship would be a good example of being an actual victim. Someone might play one to avoid responsibility or accountability, wallow in self-pity, or control others. A classic move made by abusers is to play the victim. When they play this role, they seem vulnerable and less threatening. Here are some ways a person might play the role. They blame others for their feelings or situation. They act like the world is out to get them, behaving as though they deserve special treatment, using their trauma, mental illnesses, or experiences to justify abusive or toxic behavior, doing absolutely nothing to improve their life or circumstances, trying to one-up other people's negative experiences, believing nothing is ever their fault. Do you know someone like this?
Are you tired of seeing manipulation and coercing the vote instead of truth and integrity? It's time to take a stand. It's time to reclaim the power of choice and the freedom to vote based on your values, not out of fear, guilt, or pressure. If you're ready to activate your gift of discernment and build the courage to see through manipulation, I challenge you to join my 7-day Got Discernment challenge. In this challenge, we'll uncover the tactics used to control and coerce. And I'll equip you with the tools to confidently make decisions that align with your convictions, free from manipulation. But that's not all. Dive even deeper with my must-read resources, Discernment for Dummies and Deceivers, the guidebook. This book will guide you step by step through the process of identifying deception and empowering yourself to make informed, courageous choices in all areas of your life. So are you ready to break free from the chains of manipulation and become the discerning, empowered person you were meant to be? Click the link to join the challenge, grab your books, and start the journey today. Let's build a future where your voice is your own, your vote is your power, and your life is aligned with your truth.
Let's activate.